All right, Taurus, thanks for tuning in to your October of 2014 horoscope. My name is Athen, and this is the eclipse season. Now, you've heard me talk about the eclipse. The eclipse is back in April, okay, and now we're coming up to the next lunar and solar eclipse season. And the way you want to look at the eclipses is you want to look at them in series. You want to see kind of one to the next and read them like that. They're very powerful, very transformative times. And in this sense, whatever happened back in April, which was a very transformative month for a lot of us, lots of transformations, very powerful, okay? Create a lot of that volcanic energy and got us shooting or moving in a certain direction. And that direction is now culminating and coming to some sort of manifestation, harvest, culmination in October, okay? And it's very powerful, very transformative for all of us. Now, for you, it's in your 11th house, and I'm really sensing a lot of freedom in this. And I think if you think back to April, okay, what major changes were going on? What kind of major transformations were happening around that time period? And whatever it is, okay, it's going to create a tremendous amount of freedom in your life this month in October when we have this lunar eclipse in your 11th house. Okay, in your 11th house, you know, and you guys got Uranus in your 11th house as well too. Okay, and there's a past karma thing involved with that too. Something you guys are working out in terms of your freedom and past karma, maybe freeing up some bondage, some sort of karmic attachments or something that you guys are freeing yourselves from. Okay, and that's where all this freedom is going to take place. And it's, like I said, very powerful this month in October. Now, interestingly, this is where the culmination is taking place, but the actual fruition of it, where it's going to manifest, is in your 6th house of your work, okay, or of your life in general, your survival in some way, your ability to sustain yourself and take care of yourself, okay? So whatever it is, whatever this newfound freedom, okay, that you're going to have in your life now, it's going to create a new environment for you guys to work or create or take care of yourselves on a day-to-day level. Because the 6th house is, it's the house of improvement and refinement and fixing your life. But overall, it's just the house of what you might call survival, taking care of the bare necessities and everything you do on the day-to-day level. And this includes your health too. Whatever it is, it's something new here, and it is involving relationships. And the reason why I say that is, one, it's taking place in Libra, but also Venus is going to be in a very close conjunction to this solar eclipse in the 6th. Something new there, okay? May not be a relationship, and I don't see it that way, but a person or multiple people or your perspective on relationships in general is going to play a role in this. Okay, maybe some people might be involved in some new venture you start in work, or maybe some of you are settling down with a partner, or we're moving in with someone, or whatever, something like that. Okay, in the 6th house, and for everyone it's going to be a little different. And this is really culminating from a lot of this hard work that you guys have been putting into in terms of your routine and health and day-to-day activities. Okay, because Saturn's been transiting that Libra, and he's about to leave at the very end of this month, early in November actually. So you guys are become masters of your work and your day-to-day activities, your survival essentially. Okay, so it's really a culmination of that, but whatever it is, it's a new beginning in that area. Okay, very powerful. Now, interestingly, what I was going to say is that Mercury is actually going retrograde in that 6th house of yours, where that solar eclipse is going to be taking place. So what this is telling me, and I've been saying this in my other monthlies for this month, is that there's a kind of timeline here, okay? And the month starts off with this Mercury retrograde, which happens on the 4th. And it's in that 6th. So it's almost like at the very, very beginning of the month, you might start to think about the work area, or this, the health routine, or something to do with your survival on a day-to-day level, thinking about that. Okay, and that is going to cause you to have a sort of reflection in that area. And then on the 8th, when we have the lunar eclipse, it's almost like whatever you're figuring out in terms of this, okay, you're noticing that the work or whatever you're doing on that day-to-day level is creating a tremendous amount of freedom for you, or that there's a tremendous amount of freedom available in that. Okay, and then that's what's going to spawn the very powerful transformations in that 11th house. Now, the 11th house could also be group activities. A lot of you I can see coming, for those of you especially who started anything group related back in April, I can see this definitely being a culminating point. Or for those of you involved in service work, where your work perhaps has taken on a more humanitarian or selfless sort of aspect to it, or angelic aspect to it, which all of you naturally do anyways because your Pisces rules your 11th. But in either case, something new since April in that area of groups, community, humanitarian, being of service, and then of course freedom. Whatever that is, culminating this month after some sort of reflection in that 6th house area, whatever it is. Okay. And for example, some of you might be thinking about your health and, oh, how can I improve my health? And then going, oh wow, there's a tremendous, and then you start to improve it and you're thinking, wow, there's a tremendous amount of freedom that comes when you take care of yourself, or you're able to heal some ailments or something. And the whole world kind of opens up and you're like, wow, look at all these other things I can do. That's an example. Another example might be your work, starting to figure out the tremendous amount of freedom you have in your work, which is an amazing thing. So whatever it is, it's going to play out differently for you, but this is just a general reading, so I have to read it very generally, and that's the sort of energies that are working for you this month. Okay, and it's very powerful, lots of very powerful changes. Now, continuing with this timeline, so there will be this reflection in the 6th house, and then there will be this newfound sense of freedom that's going to transform you and change you. And then mid-month, the Sun and Venus, your ruler, will be going into that 6th. Okay? So illuminating it. And that's why I really feel like whatever it is, because the Sun is passion and enjoyment. So whatever it is, I see you guys really enjoying it. Okay, enjoying that 6th house activity or the things, or your whole life in general, how your life is coming together. All right, and that's creating a strong sense of inspiration and energy for you guys. Okay, and that's going to continue all the way through until the next eclipse cycle. But it's really staying with you for your whole life. You know, it's a very major changes. And there's, like I said, relationships involved. And for you, it's relationships, but also I think mid-month you're going to start just connecting more to that 6th house thing, your body, your work, whatever it is. Or perhaps people are going to be involved with that in some way. Okay, but in either case, connecting to it, you know, from the heart, like a heartfelt connection to the work, to the health, to your body, whatever it is. All right, and then that is leading into then the solar eclipse that's happening on the 23rd in that 6th house, going, something new just came of this. It's always a perspective, okay? But it's a brand new perspective. It could be literal, something new, career, new work for some of you, a new craft, a new outlook on your health, a new health in general. And some of you might just feel very vibrant and coming alive, because like I said, there's been a lot of hard work in that 6th house. So for those of you who've been really working hard there, it's, you know, this is a month where it pays off, and Saturn always pays off when hard work is put in. So in either case, that later on in the month, something new there. Okay, very powerful, leading you guys into the next eclipse cycle. Now, at the end of the month, then Mercury goes station direct, and this is happening in your 5th house, okay? And so it's almost, that's what, it's very strong. It's very closely associated to that North Node too, because you guys are moving in a direction with that North Node in your 5th that's more in alignment with what you're about, with what your heart wants in life, your passion, okay? And like I said, clearing all those old bondages and stuff, which is creating a new path for you guys through your, following your joy. And so I think that something's going to click there. 25th, something's going to click in terms of that. And then that's going to then, Mercury will then go direct and then go back into your 6th, and then that's when things really start to move, and that's when the new beginning really starts to slowly pick up. So very powerful stuff, okay? And for you, like I said, especially in that 6th house area. Now this month we have a grand trine taking place involving Mars, the South Node, Uranus, a conjunction, and Jupiter. Now, there's a lot of sextiles and trines pointing towards Mars this month, okay? So I want to talk about Mars first. Mars is transiting your 7th up until the 18th when he'll go into your 8th. So what that's suggesting is that late last month in September, there's a lot of energy you guys are putting into in relationships and also your transformation because it's in Scorpio. But then mid-month he shifts and goes into your 8th. So it seems like you guys are learning to work with some power, some tremendous amount of power that's helping free up your life because Mars will go into Sagittarius in your 8th. So it's opening your horizons, okay? And whatever that is, there's a shift, and the shift is really associated with this newfound changes in that 6th house. So, yeah, so and it's very, a lot of it has to do with getting deeper in relationships too, because coming from the 7th to the 8th with all that energy, this could also be a time where you're really getting deeper in relationships, one relationship, relationships in general, all kinds of relationships, all right? Seeing the more meaningful aspects of life. All right, and understanding it, Sagittarius. Now, yeah, very powerful there. So a lot of energy into your transformation and getting into the more meaningful aspects of life, the second half of the month, okay? And there's a lot of support there pointing towards that. And like I said, with the Grand Trine, you're really being supported with this abundance that you guys have in your 3rd house, with Jupiter in your 3rd. A lot of you have been, really expanding your social sphere, or sales, for those of you in sales, transportation, traveling, whatever it is that's been expanding your interchange, your exchanges, social, but also on a day-to-day level, all right, which could be short-distance traveling and such, contracts, paperwork, that sort of stuff. Whatever that is, all that positivity there is supporting you, all right, in the relationships and in the transformation for you this month. And likewise, this liberation that I'm talking about in terms of your past, okay, is also supporting you. But it's all easy. It's just naturally, this is what's going to happen. More positivity that flows in from this 3rd house is going to support you with that Mars shift. And the more, the more you free your past and you find this newfound freedom in that, it's going to support these changes in relationships and in your transformation and such. All right, so very powerful month for everybody, and that's how it's playing out for you. Lots of that emphasis on the 6th house, all right, for certain, and that 11th house of freedom as well. All right, guys, so I'm going to draw an oracle card. It's just an astrology oracle card to get some guidance from source to see where Spirit wants me to put a little bit more attention on your chart. All right, let's see what we got. The Sun. Now, you heard me talk a lot about this, your 5th house and following your joy, and that's exactly what the Sun is all about. And so I want to stress here then, I think there needs to be a focus here on the fact that on the first half of the month, okay, late September, early October can be very fun, enjoyable time for you guys, okay, because the Sun's going to be in your 5th house. Romantic, creative, expressive, all of that, all right? It's a time of coming alive and following your joy. Then mid-month, when all these changes start to happen in that 6th house area, then it's going to brighten up that sector, okay? And then all this creativity and all this joy that you guys are uncovering is really the stem of all this. That makes perfect sense. Is the beginning and the stem of all of these positive changes in that 6th house. So maybe you're realizing, wow, there's all this joy. I really want to take care of my day-to-day stuff, my survival, so I can keep enjoying this stuff. Or put more of your heart and your passion into your work, a lot of you, and into your health. Because that's the transition from the 5th to the 6th, is realizing, wow, life is wonderful. I want to make sure everything is taken care of. I want to take care of my life so I can live, a happy lifestyle, and a lifestyle that's in accordance with what I'm really about. And that's really the message I'm getting for you guys. All right, so I think a strong emphasis on 5th going into the 6th with this eclipse. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for my daily, weekly, and monthly horoscopes, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching.